Alright, chat. So in the last video, we started working on the Bloxburg High School, and we actually got a lot done in terms of the exterior, at least. All of the interior, as you can see, is not finished, but that's what we're doing today. So if you haven't watched the last video, make sure you go check that out before you finish watching this one. Because in the last video, everyone dropped a bunch of good comments, and it seemed like you guys really enjoyed it, so we're continuing this, unlike last year where we kind of left that in the dust. But yeah, if you have more suggestions for what I should add into the school, just let me know in the comment section below, and I'll try to get to that as soon as possible, if possible. So basically all I did here was finish up the exterior, did a lot of the gardening in the back, flower beds, that little windy pathway that bridges the school and the football field. Yeah, that was just a bunch of spamming and planting. And then speaking of the football field, I got the lights done for that, so now it looks really good at nighttime. But aside from that, nothing else was touched. I also put some benches, garbage cans, these square bollards around the entire school, anywhere that was close to a roadway, because you don't want cars hitting any kids. That definitely won't end well for me because I could get sued. But yeah, just minor details to finish the exterior so we can start working on the interior. So now that we have the exterior pretty close to 100% complete with all the benches and trash cans and, you know, more gardening added, and then the football field as well with all the lights, I guess we could start working on the inside. And the goal for this video is to get most of the big rooms done, so probably something like the cafeteria or the gymnasium, and maybe even trying to fit a pool in this athletic center that I really want to do. I don't know, I really have no idea how to go about doing this, but I guess the first thing we should do is lay everything out so we have a general idea for what we want to build with the inside. Man, this thing's so big, I don't even know where to start. I think I'll go ahead and start on the left side because that is the easiest building to work with since it's just a straight up rectangle. And what I'm gonna do here is quite possibly a pool, or that could just be for classrooms. I don't know, I really have to think about this. Oops, it looks like we didn't get a path done in the exterior, so I'm just gonna quickly stitch that up. There we go. It leads off into nowhere, but I guess that's alright. As you can see, some of the walls I've left empty because honestly I have no idea what to do with it. To be fair, this could be a really cool looking gym, so I guess we could try turning this into a little basketball court or something, but obviously I don't think these will fit in here, so we're gonna have to improvise. Yeah, this is a bit big. I mean, maybe the most we can do is fit a half court in here, but yeah, it's definitely something that's gonna need some work. Or, you know, something else that this might be able to be is a pool. Yeah, honestly, maybe this could be a pool. Okay, I'm gonna leave that as that, and I'm gonna leave that as a pool. So by sectioning everything off here, I'm gonna return to it eventually, and then I'll probably do it off camera. A bit unfortunate, but I guess that is how it is. Oh my god, please tell me I can delete this. Oh my god. Okay, wait, no, it's not as bad. Actually, it is kind of bad because it's the entire roof, so I guess we're gonna have to cut that off because I don't want to delete that roof without having to redo it. And I guess that since this will be the pool right here, I think on the other side we're gonna put the cafeteria maybe. To be honest, I have no idea how schools are laid out or how they're supposed to be laid out. I'm just gonna wing it and hopefully it sticks. I mean, honestly, I don't think it's a bad cafeteria spot. It just needs a bit of tweaking in some places. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm actually gonna mark each room with whatever it's gonna be. So the pool is gonna have a mini pool right there, and then the cafeteria, I'm gonna put a picnic table if I can find the picnic table. Bro, where is the picnic table? Okay, picnic table found. Okay, and now since we know this is gonna be the cafeteria, we can make it all hard floors for now. This we don't know how big the pool is gonna be yet, so we're not gonna do the floor just yet. Honestly, not too sure about this being a cafeteria because there's not that much room to fit stuff, but I guess we'll leave it at that. We're gonna have 2 floors for the cafeteria, so that takes care of this entire right section of the building. And if that's the case, then we can start working over here on the middle building. Now what I want to do here is a little complicated, but we're gonna try to make it work. So basically what I'm gonna have here is a little staircase that goes up to the 2nd floor, but I'm obviously gonna make that custom, and it's gonna go, let's say, around there. I think that's centered with everything. Okay, no, that's definitely not centered with everything. Now everything is centered. Okay, perfect. So what this is gonna be is it's actually gonna lead into a nice long hallway, basically bringing us over to whatever this walkway is. Oh man, this is gonna be really hard to fit classrooms in, is it? Okay, so that's gonna be one classroom. This is gonna be another one, and then we're gonna put the last classroom right here. This might be like a little janitor's room or something. I don't know what I can really do for these little bits. Oh, and those windows are kind of triggering. Oh, they're sticking through the ground. Oh, that's not good. Maybe I'm gonna have to rework the windows, but that's the least of our worries right now. I guess we could honestly just leave this entire area open as just like a little chilling area, and then these can all be classrooms right here. I think that's a bit large for, actually no, I think it's fine. I just completely forgot that we needed washrooms in here, but I don't know how to get washrooms in here. I'm starting to realize how hard it is to actually format something as a layout for this school. Because like, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to fit a bathroom in here? I mean, I guess I could try and fit one there, but this is kind of cramped, you know what I mean? I guess this could be like an open study area, and then this in here could be the classroom. So just to mark it out for now, I'm gonna put doors there. Yeah, a lot of this is gonna have to be worked out off camera because it's really hard to get something right off the get-go, but I guess that's good for the second floor. Okay, I guess with the first floor we could have something like this. Everything here is still subject to change. I honestly think everything's gonna change the second I start touching this. I think the hardest part is fitting in bathrooms when all there is windows on this building, because like, I don't want to put a bathroom here, but it also seems very logical to put a bathroom here. But there's windows, so like, what am I gonna do? You know what, I guess it's fine if we just delete the windows. And actually what we can do is move a window to that corner so there's some light flowing in, and then these two can be washrooms. This will just be like an empty space, maybe for lockers or something. And so this building will have a total of 5 classrooms, and yeah, this second floor really needs to be worked on, so I'll leave that as that for now. And I guess we could get to the sports center, or like the athletic center. It kind of doesn't make sense since the pool is on the other side, but oh well. I'm trying to fill up as much empty space with big rooms as possible. You know, 1, because I'm lazy, and 2, because I'm lazy. Chat, how bougie does your school need to be in order to have escalators? Because I'm seriously debating on putting escalators in here. Think about how cool this would be. Yeah, I don't know if it's enough space for an escalator, low-key. Or maybe, you know what, I can put it out at the front. Oh yeah, this could be a really cool entrance to the athletic center. I completely forgot what this was called. I think we're only gonna have 1 escalator though. Oh yeah, that's gonna be sick. And it's right under the wood slats up here as well. Okay, so that kind of changes what we're gonna do for this part right here. I guess what it's gonna be is a super long hallway that just leads into a bunch of other small rooms. I think at the end it's gonna be a gym right here. Oh, I got some really cool ideas for this too. Okay, so we're gonna leave it at that, and then right here we're gonna try to fit maybe a bathroom. I'll just see what I can do. Maybe around here as well I can fit a second bathroom. Perfect. And that basically covers the entire second floor. Oh man, if this was just like 1 wider, we could have enough space for like 2 escalators right here. I don't know what it is with me and escalators, but it just seems so cool. Like, I completely forgot they existed, and I'm starting to use them again. But anyways, this is basically gonna be the entirety of the second floor. Just a gym, 2 bathrooms, and pretty much it. Not much to do in this building, I'm not gonna lie. I told you, it's literally just a center for, you know, athletics and whatnot. And I guess what we can do is actually copy the bathrooms from the second floor down to the first, because it just makes sense in a building for bathrooms to be right on top of each other. And then something we can actually have is a classroom right here. That 1 class for PE, physical education, that's what this is gonna be. Essentially, I call this a waste of space. But generally, high schools are really large, so I guess this makes sense at the same time. Anyways, now that we have all of that, we can start working off camera. So here we go. The first thing I started working on was the main atrium, and this is where all the students should enter the building. And I kind of wanted to go for this modern, sleek look with a bunch of weird designs on the ceiling, because I got some inspiration from Jannard a couple months back, or wait, maybe it was a couple weeks back, but I toured a science museum, and they had some really cool ceiling designs that I wanted to try and use in this build. So I mimicked all of the weird basic shapes hanging from the ceiling, and I think it turned out pretty well in the end. It also worked really well to hide the lights. And I gotta say, a lot of the inspiration for this room also came from Pinterest. So if you're interested in what pictures, images I used, you can go check out the Pinterest. I'll leave it in the link in the description below, if I remember to at least. And I also gotta say that this room took abnormally long to complete. Like, there were so many things I forgot to do that could have just made it way more efficient. First of all, I didn't paint the basic shapes before I copied and pasted them, so I had to go through and individually do them. It's like the same thing with the external facade and the basic shapes. I don't know, it was just a really big hassle having to go in and paint every individual basic shape. But as you can see right now, I'm working on the steps that lead up to the second floor, and they kind of split this entire room into the 2 layers. And this was the second problem. It was kind of like, it was looking like a university or even an elementary school more than a high school, because the high schools I'm used to are pretty dead looking, and this was way too colorful and way too, you know, accommodating. Like, me personally, I'd love to have this as my high school, but you know, I'm graduated from high school and I don't care anymore. I'm in university, and this is what we see every single day, so it's much nicer. But yeah, going back to the thing where I was like building my ideal high school, this is probably what it would be like. And I really like how this step turned out. Got some nice comfy seating, and then you got lockers on the the first floor and whatnot. And then after that, I decided to add this little green element to it as well. There's like this tree growing out of this round planter thing that I thought was a good idea. And I think it really spruced up the room, made it a lot more natural, especially since I used a lot of wood. And then the last thing I did to touch up this room was add this green wall. I don't know if this was a good addition. Honestly, it kind of takes up too much space, but I kind of had this idea as well to put neon lights in it, so then it looks kind of nice. I don't know. I did it once before with my cafe, and that looked pretty okay. So I'm gonna try it here as well, but I'm probably gonna do that off camera because working with neon lights and custom placement of structurals is just not fun. But anyways, moving on. Heading back onto the exterior of the build, I thought it'd be a good idea to bust open the roof that connects the first building with the middle building. I don't know how to kind of label them, but I'm just gonna do it A, B, and C from the left to right. So it's B, C, and just letting you know, this is before I finished the atrium, so you're not going back in time. I'm just trying to organize this video in a way that's pretty easy to understand. So in between starting and finishing the atrium, I started working on this exterior bit, and this was the part that took up a lot of my plot data because a lot of the fencing was custom basic shapes, and I had to move them all over the place, and there were just a bunch of small entities, so that's probably why. And I think opening up this space was a pretty good idea since it allowed for a lot of natural light to pass through. I wasn't too big of a fan of just connecting the roof because it was too dark, too shady. I'm not shady like that. So yeah, nothing much to comment on here. I'm just sprucing it up a little, nothing too special. Oh yeah, but I added escalators because why not? I love escalators. They're just moving stairs. They're so cool. But after I got the exterior done for the final time, I started moving back into the inside to finish up the lockers on the first floor, and I just basically lined this entire hallway with lockers because, you know, no ideas were flowing into my head, and I felt like it was a good idea to put lockers here. Where else would you really put them? Man, it really seems like I did nothing in this video, but I spent so much time on this. I don't know what I was doing. Maybe I'm a slow builder. I'm not Noel, I swear. I guess I could comment on this cool design that I did for the lockers, but I really didn't want to go too detailed for this because I was realizing that plot data was very valuable and I only had so much left. And yet I still started to spam a bunch of basic shape elements in other rooms. Call me a genius. After that, I took a little break and then I came back and the game updated. What a splendid surprise. Now there's this giant orange ticket GUI thing that's on my screen and I can't get it off. Fantastic. But anyways, I started spamming a bunch of other trees in other rooms because I really like the idea of integrating nature into the rooms. And the first part of the leftmost building that I started working on was the main atrium. And at this point, I started thinking that this could be just an entire library building itself with study rooms. And honestly, it doesn't sound like too bad of an idea, but it's just terribly laid out, as is the rest of this school, because I can't lay out schools. Maybe this is why I'm studying architecture. I need to learn. But anyways, let me tell you about how I got the idea for this room. So last night, I was sleeping and I was dreaming of how I should build this atrium. And boom, and the idea came into my mind. What if I drew a giant little pit for people to sit in, and then above you there are a bunch of little colored glass panels that just diffract light, and they make this the entire room colorful. That's basically the dumbed down version of my dream. It was a lot more majestic looking in my dream. When I finish this, it's not very majestic, but it still looks pretty good. Like, I'm waiting for the day that Bloxburg updates their lighting graphics and everything is just more realistic. So you see how light just pierces through walls like the wall doesn't even exist? Bloxburg, one day, if it allows, will add light that does not pass through walls. Basically light physics. And if that happens, man, I'd be a happy man, because this entire room with the colored panels would look so beautiful. You guys ever play Splatoon? It's gonna look like that. Or you ever go to like one of those really old churches with the colored glass, what do you call it? Oh, I completely forgot what those are called, but it's off the top of my head. I have no idea. But you probably get the point. They have the glass thing on their window. It's gonna look like that, and that'll be so cool. But anyways, I spent the next little bit touching up this room, coloring everything, trying to figure out a color scheme really, because I still haven't found a color scheme for this entire build. I really do want to use just beige wood and green. That would be cool. And then maybe tints of yellow. But I feel like that's so basic and I'm gonna get so many comments on it. But at this point, I've finished way too much of the main components of the school to like even go and change the colors. So that's a bit unfortunate. It is what it is. To get the lighting right in any of these rooms, I used this garden post light. I don't know what it's called really, but it was $60. That's all I remember. It was $60 and I spammed it all over the place and I hid them inside the walls to make light. Yeah, that's just a build hack of the day. If you need light, just spam them in the walls and make sure you hide it nicely. But anyways, I'm just gonna touch on the fact again that it looks like I have got absolutely nothing done in this video, but it is the main frame of the school. This is the thing that matters. The thing that matters is every connecting hallway, room, not the main rooms. The main rooms don't characterize the school. As long as you can walk around the school and it's all decorated and nice and pretty, that's all that matters. But I guess not having classrooms kind of defeats the purpose of a school. So, oh well, I gotta somehow work out another 40% of data, plot data for next video. We'll see how that goes. Oh yeah, and when I was building this, I don't know if this is relatable at all, but I spammed a bunch of chairs, and I don't know how many of you guys have waited outside for a class and not had a place to sit, but that's one of my biggest complaints about some of the campus buildings that I have at my university. Or actually, we're not building a university. Why is this relevant? But yeah, I just spammed a bunch of seating because, you know, I'm a lazy boy and I don't like standing. I like to sit, but I'm not fat, I swear. But moving on, we're finally on the last room that we're gonna work on for this video, and that's like the second entry point. How many entry points am I gonna have into this school? There's so many big rooms. Sometimes I feel like it's just because I'm lazy, but it also kind of makes sense to have these giant rooms. So yeah, there's the second giant room with a second giant tree with a second giant place to sit and 2 more stairways up. And I basically copied the design from the main atrium for this building over to the center bit. And the more and more I look at this, the more and more I want to make it a library. So I'll probably come in next video and add a bunch of bookshelves and books on them and see how that goes. All right, so after several gruesome hours of working on this Bloxburg High School, I'm a little tired. So this is, I think, what we're gonna leave it off as. There's still a lot to be done, but I think we can get it done in the next episode. I don't know why I'm saying episodes like there's gonna be another episode coming, because this for sure is not getting touched within the next 6 months. But anyways, I'll take you through everything that I've done to the school so far. I think we got all of the big buildings, or sorry, the big rooms done, so that's a big win for me. Man, I don't even know where to start. You know how long it took me to do this? The game literally updated while I was building. But anyways, to summarize everything, we placed a lot of items. We almost reached max plot data limit, and I actually had to pay robux to increase that. I think I have one more increase left, so that should be good for the classrooms, since I don't plan to make the classrooms as detailed as, you know, the big rooms. The main focus for this is just to get the rooms with connectivity done, so like all the rooms that connect to the rest of the school. I think I forgot to put a wall there. Give me a second. Okay, there we go. I placed the wall back in place. But yeah, at the entrance, you see I've added these security gates, so people can't just go into the school, but there's also these open doors, so like they're kind of useless. I just wanted to use the new update items. Well, I guess it's not the new update anymore since the game updated while I was building, but yeah, you get the point. Anyways, here's our main atrium. This is where we enter, and you can either walk on over to your first classes on your left or walk upstairs to where I'll probably put a giant study area. I do have a little bit of a vision for this, and it's just gonna be a bunch of rows of tables just for people to study at, but we're gonna have to see how that plans out. But as you can see, we've got this nice little I don't even know what you call this, a nice little stairwell with some comfy seats on the left for you to chill out. And we've also got this nice little ceiling design. I don't know what I was going for with this, but I know for a fact it took up a lot of plot data. Surprisingly, the trees don't take up as much as I thought it would. But anyways, we've got a bunch of lockers down here as well for people to put their stuff in, and then trash cans because those are essential. And then this part of the school got a major overhaul because I kind of wanted to bust out a hole in between the 2 buildings, so that happened. I don't know if I'm too happy with this. I could definitely minimize the amount of basic shapes being used here so I can free up some plot data, but you know, screw that. We're gonna leave that for next episode. And then stepping on over here, we have this nice little connectivity room. I don't know what it is. It's just here. On the left is gonna lead to the basketball court or the gym, which is turning out pretty not nicely, but you can kind of see it come together. There's the courts, and then there's the basketball nets. And then on the other side, we finished our cafeteria, and I got this inspiration from another Bloxburg High School YouTube video, so credits go to them. And as you can see, I just copied and pasted the entire vibe of the school around the cafeteria. We don't have much space, but it should be enough for maybe 50 people. Unfortunately, you can't sit on the round tables, but they did turn out pretty nice, so that's a plus. Got the nice sun rays piercing through the windows as well. And then over here, you have your soft drink dispenser. Unfortunately, I don't plan on putting any appliances until we get to the very end, because this is not necessarily important to the school. It's just there. I want to make sure I have enough plot data for the classrooms, because that's the main part. But anyways, here's the cafeteria. Turned out pretty nice. This is a nice shot. And then I guess we could move over to the back of the field. The field, I moved the goalpost posts back because some people said you could get a concussion running into them, which I don't doubt. But aside from that, I didn't really add anything to it. Changed up the colors of the field a bit, but that's it. Parking lot has not been touched. This part has not been touched, I don't think. This is probably gonna end up being an empty room, I'm not gonna lie, because plot data is looking a bit rough right now. But I guess we could head over to our second building, and I don't know what the purpose of this building is. It's literally just an extra building, but it looks really good with the transparent glass panels hanging from the ceiling, and then the random tree in the middle, and then this little dip into the ground. And of course we've repeated all the lockers over here that spans the entire hallway, and then we're gonna have a couple of study rooms here, one right there and then one on the second floor. I kind of want to make this a library, not gonna lie. It could look pretty good, and I could bust out the ground, and that could link up to the second floor. And then here we have the second floor also lined with a bunch of lockers, and then I made sure to add enough seating along the walls because the amount of times that I've been to lectures, or I don't know if you have lectures in high school, but the amount of times I've been to class and waited outside without a seat is I can't count how many times I've done that. Having a nice space to sit down is nice. And then we have our second kind of atrium with another tree growing through it. It's not very centered, so I gotta move that back. But I think that covers the entirety of the school. Next video, I'm probably gonna work on the bathrooms and classrooms. I'm gonna get Noelle to come in and then work on one classroom. Oh yeah, and then there's the second floor bridge that connects the two buildings, so that's also nice. It's very simplistic, and it's really how it goes with schools. I can't really make it too detailed either because, you know, hallways are supposed to be a little spacious to accommodate the number of people. So if you're gonna comment that, please be a little thoughtful for the amount of space that's required in a school. But yeah, I guess we'll just have to take it into the next video to see how this turns out. It's looking pretty good so far. 92.2% plot data plus 20%. Yeah, it's not looking dire at all.